Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena. Guess what? It's me, it's CGB. How you doing? Let's get right to it. Tear this band-aid off. Blue-white control. This is the victory lap. If you missed the previous video in the series, we're just gonna play one game. Just one game. One little game. With these decks that have been basically the meta. And then we're going to play that game, move on to the next one, and hopefully knock out the last 5 games here with these decks before M19 joins... Excuse me, hold on. Before M19 joins the clan, and we have that big pre-release sponsored event by Wizards with the stocked account and the 20 beta codes on Wednesday, which, as the day I'm recording this, that's tomorrow. So we're trying to put this format to bed, usher in a new one, hopefully some cool new decks. We'll cover, just to dangle a carrot in front of all of you, we'll cover some new decks before we end the stream. I showed off a few yesterday. We'll show off the ones that I'm going to be playing in that special event at the end of the stream here. So our opponent opening with a Drover of the Mighty. Since we're going into 4 mana, it's interesting of whether or not I want to try to play a Search for Azcanta here and start filtering my draw, or I hold up and I try to censor the dinosaur that comes out. I think we're going to hold up. We want to really try to cut back on that super explosive draw from the opponent. Here's the Forerunner. We'll just say no thank you. Censor is a card I haven't been high on through most of the format, but as the format's kind of gotten to where it is now, it feels like everybody is just always trying to curve out. And that like 3 and 4 drops are a lot more popular than they've been. So it makes Censor pretty darn good. Here is a Huatli. So I'm in a spot where I really do have to hit a land drop. So I'm going to cycle this. I do have another cast out, and a blink of an eye can take care of the dinosaur token. But we're going to take 6 for it because the Drover will get to attack, the 3/3 will get to attack.
Sing the song of fame.
Yeah, okay, whatever, Huatli. I actually don't think I need another one of these right now, although having 2 of them, it is good if we hit the lands. Oh, this is actually really tough. I'm going to graveyard it, though. I think what I really want is settle the wreckage. Another blink is fine. So we're going to flash this in. Going to hope we don't get hit by a Brontodon. We're going to take this Huatli out. We're going to get punched in the face, hopefully not by a charging Monstrosaur as well, as we are falling well behind on the board. If our opponent has another mega threat, we're in big trouble. That counts. Holy crap. So yeah, we do need settle the wreckage. Settle or bust. But no matter what, we're going to hold up here and at least make it look like we have the settle. Make our opponent play around it. I totally get if anybody wants to cheer for the dinosaurs right now. I would not blame you. All right, we're going to use a blink of an eye on the token. Get us deeper in the deck. Now, unfortunately, we still take 3 because Carnage Tyrant is a dinosaur, and our opponent gets to resolve another threat if they have it. Another Drover is really annoying. Graveyard. Still digging. Still digging. Let's see if our opponent has the guts. If they have the nerve to attack with all their things. Okay, commune with dinosaurs is fine. It is awkward. We're probably not going to counter anything, at least not until after combat, which means our opponent is very free to resolve this Alphasaur. Although we don't have a way to deal with that anyway. So it looks like our opponent's going to get the best of us on this one, and maybe that's exactly what you all want, is not a long game with the blue-white control deck. Yeah, picking the attackers. How brave are you with Settle the Wreckage? Possibly looming. Ooh! He's decided we don't have it, and he's right. Oh, it feels bad. Alright, but we still get one more turn. Again, get that token, draw that extra card. Oh, it burns my precious. I wonder how much he'll attack me with next turn. Probably not with all that. Here's the thing. I actually want this land. But if we keep it, our opponent knows we have a Settled Wreckage in hand, because we would bin anything that's not a settle. So we have to bin it just to keep up appearances. Now, our opponent didn't play around the settle last time. What we're trying to make it look like is that we really don't have it, and we're trying to get them to commit even more. Here they come. That's all you got? Okay. It's a good attack. Although I could, if I had a way to deal with one of those drovers, I could still survive, but not the case. And now we're down to a top deck situation. How about that? Wow. Wow, I'm the luck sack. I'm the worst, you guys. I'm the worst. All right, who wants some? You want some? Come get some. Oh, man. Really? He had to have another threat? I mean, there's no way he just attacks with one, is there? I could draw anything and deal with it. Okay. Well, here's what's up. If I play this settle, I'm most certainly dead. I would have to top deck a third settle. Unfortunately, we already used 2 Blink of an Eye and a Seal Away. So the odds of getting another Seal Away off the top, there's 3 in the deck. So I'm trying to, like, I think the way that I have to do it to win the game would be to try to top deck a Seal Away, but it has Vigilance, so that doesn't matter. Never mind, Seal Away is not an out. Sometimes you gotta remember things. Would be a great spot for a cast out, that's for sure. So now we need to draw another settle. Piece of cake. All day. Man, how about drawing 4 Teferis? That's something. In a spot where they're just not good because Carnage Tyrant came down super early. What kind of guts do you have this time? Awesome. Now he's attacking with multiples. Interesting. Alrighty. He's played it well. It's all good on that front. We got a cycle. Hit! Denied. Alright, good game, opponent. Fans of the dinosaurs can rejoice. Fans of the blue-white, don't worry. I think that was pretty unlucky. Thus, having the second search for Azcana and all 4 Teferis in a spot, like one of the only spots on Earth where they're not good. Pretty unlucky. But, we still have Vengeance, perhaps? From the blue-black control deck? Will you avenge us? This version I'm playing right now I really love. It's got the glint sleeve siphoner going on. It doesn't use Champion Wits, which that's a big... I don't know if it's a controversy, but it's a big dividing point in blue-black lists. I'm not a fan of using the champ, but many people are. I'm also running Censor in this deck as well, and I've been pretty happy with it. We're going to need land drops, though. Keeping a 2-lander with a control deck is always scary. It's good on the draw. On the play, it's just straight up scary. Alright, we'll use the Shift-Enter thing. Did not... as Dr. Bumcheeks would say, we're on the Pro Tour. Just not showing them what's up. I'll get another blue, as I want the disallow before the contempt. It looks like we're going to do red things, so classic matchup. And the play is the Kari Zev. I think we're going to let that happen. We're going to fatally push the Kari Zev. We're going to cycle the Censor, because I need to hit my land drops quite a bit. Denied. Here we go again. Brutal. That sucks. I don't know if or when I'll use this. It might just end up being a ramp spell. Here's the Crasher. Our opponent's on the full-blown red curve. Everything going well for them. Yeah! Not the right day for control decks, I think. Holy cow. How many lands can a person run and have this happen to them? Don't think too hard, man. This is all you. Clearly no chance for me. That's 4. It's probably 5, 6, 7. All right. If we get out of the turn, it would mean they don't have a Lightning Strike or a Wizard's Lightning. I think the odds of that are very low. We need them to have, like, Magma Spray and a Braid in hand. Okay. I'm not quite dead. I mean, if you're going to bolt me, bolt me. There's no reason to sit there. All right. Interesting. I feel like I'm just being slow rolled. All right. Land. Maybe it's all land in hand. If he brings back the Kenra here and he taps out, if he taps out, the Contempt can work. And if we can draw land, Torrential Gearhulk, and we're in business. Oh my goodness, his hand really is that dead. We have a shot. Who thought I was dead? Who said I was dead? Let's shock the world, shall we? I do think a Braid will hit the Torrential Gearhulk, most certainly. Oh no! Oh my gosh. These draws! So I've got a Contempt. And the thing is, if I let my opponent untap and he has a Magma Spray and a Crasher and a Magma Spray or a Braid and he targets his own on-crop Crasher in response, then I lose. So yeah, this is a Hail Mary, but we have to assume if he had the burn spell, he would have already used it. If he had the haste creature, he would have cast it. So we need him to blank for another turn. He did not blank. All right. Yeah, good for you. All right. 2 games, 2 awkward land light draws. Let's hope we got that out of our system. Those of you haters of the control and the scare of God are rejoicing. You're dancing in your chairs. How about some blue-white God-Pharaoh's Gift? And honest, it's really bizarre. Those are by far, statistically, my 2 best performing decks. Better than red-black by far. My win percentage, respectively, is at 79% for blue-black and 75% for blue-white. And that is in quick constructed events, as not ladder. So maybe it's twisted. But the deck I play by far the most is red aggro, which is what we just faced. Although not dinosaurs and not Carnage Tyrants. Very rare I run into a Carnage Tyrant these days. Okay. This hand is freaking awesome with another land, but I'm pretty skittish at this point. This hand is bizarrely fun. Since I have neither combo piece yet, I'm gonna bottom this land. I'm gonna trust I can find lands along the way. Of course, that may be a mistake. So the combo, of course, Refurbish and God-Pharaoh's Gift. Playing against blue-white control. Let's test them. Alright, maybe a God-Pharaoh's Gift deck over there could also be. There are multiple blue-white decks, but now it's looking more like control. Yeah. We haven't found the gift yet, but that's part of the plan, right? Alright, champ. Yep. That's okay, you'll be back. At least that's part of the plan. Blue-white is a pretty weird matchup. I don't have a lot of ways to, like, make Settle the Wreckage bad. It's always going to be a pretty good card against me. Do I want this land? Strategic planning usually ends up grabbing a land, but I guess I do want to hit all the drops. Alright, let's hide this. Although, I could play around a Syncopate. May as well. I guess it's not all the way around. If they want to Syncopate it for 3, they can Syncopate it for 3, but at least I tap them out. My opponent wants to negate me. Alright. Interesting. I might have saved that for the actual combo pieces. Could grab another land. The cast out we definitely don't want. The champ is very likely to get countered, but if it resolves, it's very good. I think I'll take the champ. We've already got one in the graveyard. How's our count? 5. Oh, what do you know? We also don't have good interaction for Teferi at like any level in this deck. We need to move quickly. I guess that would have been good for the cast out though. Maybe I'm just missing stuff today. Maybe I'm just way off my game. Charting courses. We'll go graveyard. Doesn't solve any of the pressing problems. Okay. Definitely the Fumigate. I've got a champ in the graveyard. It's close to where I could cast the gift, which is what I'm giving some thought to. Oh yay, red mana. You gonna Magma Spray this?
Hold that thought.
Untap my lands. Haha, do it. Do it. Yeah, do it and like it. Now watch me glimmer, I wish. That can go grave, this can transform, this can draw. Right. Let's go for a Minister. What you got? Resolves. Let's go for a Refurb. Fun. And I've seen enough of this. So, what a day we're having today. Out with a whimper instead of a bang. Can the other decks turn this around? I like the God-Pharaoh's Gift deck against the red and the black-red decks. I think, and against anything mid-range is pretty good too. I think it's just so horrible against good control decks. Like, so horrible. It's good against blue-black. That's the other thing, because blue-black doesn't have good ways to deal with the gift, and they usually have to tap out to play their Scarab God, but man, is it bad against blue-white. Like, oh, I just hate the blue-white matchup. It's misery. All right, 0 for 3. Let's see if we can do an 05 video. I don't think I've ever done an 05 video. Will red be the deck to help to get me there? I actually don't have great numbers with red. My red numbers are just a little under 60% compared to much higher numbers with different decks. But I think that's because everybody who is good has either probably figured out how to beat red, at least in some amount of their games. Red can still do very well. It can beat decks designed to beat red. That's how good red is. But it's hard to win, 80% of your games with it when everybody is thinking about how to beat it. Oh, that can't block. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh my. It does make us have to think pretty hard about how to use our Chandra, because it's almost always going to be under pressure from that Scrounger. The chains have whirled. Kenra's gone. But I do think we're probably going to Chandra away the Chain Whirler. Or we could just jam a Hazoret and Exert on the Chain Whirler. What are the odds that Hazoret gets to attack next turn anyway? Not really, but the turn that we play Chandra and make mana, we get at least 2 cards out of our hand, which brings us down to 1. And we might get to attack with it next turn. It's pretty tough. And we might also find a better target for this shock. So yeah, let's get Hazoret on board. God, that scream. It haunts my nightmares, I tell you. So what's our opponent's 4-mana play? Do they have a Rekindling Phoenix, a Hazoret of their own? Yep. It's the legend of the Phoenix. Alright, so we'll go Chandra.
I knew you needed my help.
We could just deal 2. Our opponent's almost certain to block with this Phoenix. Then they'd have to attack Chandra with 2 creatures. But then they're most certainly dead. I could also kill the Phoenix, shock the token, get him for 5. I guess that makes my opponent's life the absolute worst.
Oh, yep, you're flammable.
It's pretty much investing all in on the getting through next turn plan. But I can handle that. This is red. And faces the place. Get him! Between Chandra demanding something to attack it, and On-Crop Crasher making something unable to block, and a Hazoret, we're in a great spot. Earthshaker Kenra's about to come back too if we draw land. But a Goblin Chain Whirler is probably the best play our opponent could have. It would remove the Chandra and give him another blocker.
You and I are gonna take him out.
But instead we've got a Torch of Defiance making mana.
Today's my lucky day.
Maybe we still have a Chain Whirler? No. Well, that makes a few blockers. And now Scrap Heap can take out my Chandra. Yep.
That all you got?
Oh, that's so mean. Well, goodbye to your blocker.
Time to fight fire with fire.
All right, what do we want to block? I guess we want to force the Chain Whirler to block the Hazoret. So that might be tempting to tell the Chain Whirler not to block, but we want to force the better creature to die. Now, can our opponent find the win somehow? If they say play their own Hazoret and the land, and they remove the Chain Whirler, they can win the game. But if we get to untap with our Hazoret, we win the game. So, right down to the wire, even through the fire, to the fire, to the limit, through the fire, through the fire, to the fire, to the limit. Ooh, attack? No, I guess you can't attack with the Pia first. Although he, I don't know, could sack the Scrounger, get him for 2, bring back the Scrounger. I guess he does have one, there is 1 energy there. Weird. But I think that's going to be game. And I don't think there was a way through, so let's activate. Good game, opponent. Now you must die. And mono red ends the losing streak by doing red things like curving out and playing Hazoret and Chandra and Goblin Chain Whirler. Woo! Game's so hard. Such a hard game, man. So much skill. But let's finish on a different note for those of you who might want to see the green-white angel deck. I don't think I ever got a chance to make a video for the green-white angel deck. That's not true. I made the video, but it was a corrupted file. It was lost to the world. Another failing of the recording. It recorded audio only and no video, so I had to delete it, and I never got back to it. I record every day. It's just not every day that I upload what I record. Sometimes it's just bad. Sometimes it's just a really bad video, not worth watching. And sometimes it just, something terrible happens. And we'll keep this cast out around this time. Branchy. I'm going to lead with Branchy instead of Knight because I don't anticipate much combat happening if this person's going to dirtle with their blue-white control deck for the foreseeable ever. Knight's much better in combat. Oh, missed your land drop, did you? I guess I'll play around the Syncopate. And the Censor. Go ahead, use another counter on this Branch Walker. This is fun. We can put it in the graveyard and then bring it back later. It's like drawing a bonus card. Also, it doesn't look like our opponent's gonna threaten me with a Teferi or anything like that anytime soon. Maybe it is better to Cycle Cast out? I'll wait. I still have action. As long as I have action, I'm not worried. What you gonna do? You gonna seal that away? Okay. Now we could have played the Shalai first, but I'd rather make sure that Shalai resolves. Shalai would have provided seal away protection, but getting it syncopated, censored, or essence scattered, getting it around those is my priority. So this is the card that causes blue-white headaches. As long as you resolve it and then can sort of defend it, life gets pretty good. You don't want to attack it into a seal away either unless you can remove the seal away, which I can. I've got a cast out for that. But I think for this turn it's better if I just don't attack or I see if my opponent wants to counter it. So I'm going to go for a Rishkar. If the opponent counters the Rishkar, I can attack with the Shalai. You have to remember, there aren't lands, so these are all spells. So figuring out which spells they are and how to deal with them is going to be at the crux of winning this game. Again, we're not going to attack with the Shalai. We're just not going to put it in harm's way. We're also not going to tap it for mana to play the Knight of Grace. We're just not going to let it get sealed away. My opponent could try to Blink of an Eye. Oh, okay. Now do I want to tap for mana? Where are we? We are not in my combat step. So we'll add green, resolve, bounce. So if my opponent waited till we were in the combat step, the play I'm about to make would not be able to happen. Not the best draw in this case, is it? So my top priority is getting Shalai back onto the battlefield. And not getting settled, I suppose. We'd see if Lyra will resolve, but that sort of walks into a Fumigate. I guess anything I do is going to walk into a Fumigate. The other fun thing to play around counter magic is bring back the Angel and get back the Branch Walker. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It does play completely around counter magic. So I'm going to open up with an attack from the Knight of Grace. See if we can get an opponent to flinch. It's like taking on a creation. I've played so much blue-white that in trying to find the way to defeat it, it's almost like I'm Dr. Frankensteining and destroying my own creation. Our opponent can disallow this trigger if they wish, but that is one less counter. And if they do tap out for the Fumigate, we get to untap and play a Shalai, for example. Okay, got a land. We can play that. Our opponent with an end-step Glimmer. This is usually the spot where they very much want to jam a Teferi. It's not a great board for it. And instead there's a Fumigation. Alright. Not much I can do about that. But I do get to resolve the Shalai. And his Seal Away ends up with nothing underneath it. Could also resolve a Lyra, but Shalai is the one that drives this deck nuts. He can go for a Teferi and make me tuck the Shalai, but then I can cast out the Teferi. So let's see what he decides to do here. If he doesn't, if he tries to seal away the Teferi, I can use cast out to protect Shalai. Unfortunately, Shalai can't kill the mighty Teferi in one hit, which is part of the problem. So I think what we'll do is try casting it out. It'll probably get dissolved. But at least then I'll know. Okay. Maybe our opponent has a cast out of their own. And so we don't want to get sealed away. So I'm just going to cycle this. If we had another land, I still want to play it. Alright, that's good. It's too bad that Shalai doesn't give hexproof to my enchantments. If it were all my permanents, I'd be a very happy camper. Perhaps another Teferi about to come down? How obnoxious. What's this one going to do? This one gets to leave up Settle the Wreckage mana, which is yuck. But Settle the Wreckage can't target Shalai. Alright. So there's one seal away. It was the one from earlier. It's very likely our opponent has another. I can go for the Ballista, see what my opponent wants to do. They sort of have to counter it. If they counter it, I get to punch Teferi in the face. Alright. So do I go for Teferi? I think I do. If it's a seal away, it's very sad, but I think I have to take the chance. Alright. We do have 4 Shalais. It would be nice to draw another, but now Settle the Wreckage is back on the table, and Teferi is doing the work. It's almost impossible to beat a Teferi that upticks twice. I think I've only lost 1 or 2 games in this whole season where I've upticked my Teferi twice. Okay. See if this resolves. We got a Thinker. Alright, so we could take the seal away, get back Shalai. That takes away Settle the Wreckage. Then we can kill the Teferi, and we still have Ballista. There are some ways it could go wrong. Torrential Gearhulk would be very wrong. And our opponent plays Glimmer, so it sort of makes sense that they would have a Gearhulk. Still, I think it's the highest upside play, and I think we have to throw some haymakers. I think we have to throw some haymakers if we want to figure out how to win this game. So while it could get blown out very badly, I don't think we're going to win taking the safe route. Sure. Interesting. Well, that keeps me from attacking with Shalai, but now settles off, and he can't seal away the Ballista. I mean, let's see if he makes the mistake of replaying the seal away. So, question. Do we kill the Teferi? Our opponent's on 5. They would get to flip their search. They can anyway if they use their Field of Ruin. I guess we can do it in response if we want to. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so let's see what happens here with this search. Bin. Still in the draw step. We could do it now. So what's better, a random card off the top of our opponent's deck and untapping 2 lands, or having a Ballista? It's got to be having the Ballista. Our opponent used 2 blink of an eye. That's what they usually play, is 2. But what if they have Fumigate? I think I got to go for it. I think I got to kill it. And will it be a disallow? Like I said, in the last, I think we gotta take really aggressive lines. Alright, you're gonna tuck your own Teferi? Okay. I think that that's the only way. Right, they have the seal away in hand. We just drew the cast out. They have a search for Azcana that's about to flip. I think this turn will be a setup turn for Lyra. I don't think we have much of a chance in this game, but hey, we've got this going. Not attacking into the seal away. And it's basically a combo assembled. We'll have one turn to break up this Azcanta Teferi thing. But does the Teferi have to tick down to deal with the Shalai? That's... well, I'm just going to Fumigate again. So our opponent did have the Fumigate. That's why they were willing to let us have this back. Yep. How obnoxious. Yeah. I'm not going to play anymore. So the typical blue-white experience, in effect. So, that's green-white. It suffers from having a really hard time beating blue-white control. And this is why blue-white control is still a really good deck in best of one arena, because so many decks just have a horrible time with it in game 1. So, like, decks like Snake and Angels and blue-white God-Pharaoh's Gift, I just can't even play on ladder for very long because of blue-white control, although they're perfectly fine decks, and they're good against red, which is most of the meta. But blue-white control shows up about 10% of the time, and those games feel like forever and completely unwinnable. Anyway, that's the arena experience, and I'm actually really freaking thrilled for this particular instance of the meta to end and to move on into the M19 era, which, how much of an effect will it have? I've got to tell you honest, I don't. The good news is that M19 gives very few cards to this deck and this deck. The bad news is it doesn't give enough powerful things to anything else. Not really. Not really. There are a few things that we're going to hope for. So let me show you the decks that won our little vote in Twitch that we're going to be playing. So let's see. Come out into the infinite. Hi, how you doing? So let's go down here. Let's fire this up. Let's go to the goldfish. And logins. So on one hand, we're going to be playing in the pre-release event sponsored by Wizards of the Coast, where they gave me 20 beta codes to give away and a stocked special account to play on, and that is tomorrow. We're going to have the Tezzerator deck. So this is a blue-black deck, and it is built around this new Tezzeret Planeswalker. So Tezzeret, the Artifice Master, is +1 to create a 1/1 flying Thopter. And 0 is to draw a card, but if you control 3 or more artifacts, you draw 2 cards instead. And -9 is a planar bridge. At the beginning of your end step, search your library for a permanent, put it onto the battlefield, shuffle your library. So that's pretty fun. And he'll be teaming up with his old self in Tezzeret the Schemer and Karn, Scion of Urza, who also like artifacts, to do all kinds of artifact things. The only other major card the deck got is Fountain of Renewal, which I think we're all hoping is the 1-drop artifact we're looking for. It buys us time against red. It cycles for 3 mana. You draw an extra card, so it's never a dead card. It's always a little bit of life gain and never dead. Is it what cards like Metallic Rebuke and Fatal Push needed to be even better? Fatal Push already good, but with Fountain of Renewal, you get Revolt free and more easily, so that's nice. And then do these artifacts, do they do enough to make Tezzeret awesome? To make either of the Tezzerets awesome? Karn's already decent. Can it be really good here? How does this deck do against control decks? I don't know, but I don't think people will be playing the old decks in the pre-release event, so that's a good news. I think it'll be a brewer's paradise. I wish that they had a similar pre-release event that everybody could play, because you could do cool things. This is the other deck that we'll be playing in that event. It is 5-color dragons. 5-color dragons. So we're using the new Planeswalker Sarkhan Fireblood to create mana of any colors to cast dragon spells. To help him out, we also have Treasure Map and Dragon's Horde, which make colored mana and things of that nature. We've got a splattering of weirdo lands in the mana base, so that's something too. But then we've got all the dragons in there. Nicole Bolas the Ravager, which is a big discussion point. A lot of people think it will be good. There's the Dragon Queen. There's Palladium Moors the Ruiner. There's Veevictus Asmati the Dire, and there's Darigaz Reincarnated. So that's going to be the other deck we play. This deck, as it is definitely more of a fun brew and much less of a competitive deck, but there is a competitive version. I'll show you what I'm brewing up for that. And this is a deck you may want to think about. Will this be like the future of the red-black deck, so to speak? You can build it with Glintsleeve Siphoner and Bolas, like I have here, to go with Phoenix Bladewing, Glorybringer, and Sarkhan. So we've got 11 dragons, not the pure dragon smorgasbord of the other deck, but we have a lot of sweet removal and value. Lots of removal and value. So that's pretty interesting. Another version is to cut the Glintsleeve Siphoners and cut the other black cards like Doomfall and play instead Goblin Chain Whirler, yeah, and Chandra, and that can also make a heck of a deck. So the black-red deck, I think, gets a little better if the dragon theme is good. If it's not, you can always just play the same old black-red deck, for sure. Now, is anything else really beat to compete? We will see. These deck lists all, if you're interested, are in the Discord. So make sure you join the Discord server. There was a link to it in the last video. I'll try to put a link to it in this video as well. And I really hope that you can make it out to the event tomorrow. I'm very excited to get sponsored by Wizards to play in the event with multiple other streamers. The Twitch link to my Twitch will be in the YouTube video as well. Well, guys, we're going out with a bit of a whimper. We lost a lot of games today, but I think it's worth showing you just what the ladder is like. If those of you who play at gold already know that. Those of you who don't may not know that it's basically a spamming of red and blue-white control over and over and over. I think we've established that's the case. Except for that Dino deck. Props to the first person we played today. Killing blue-white with a Carnage Tyrant. Living the dream. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you at the release event tomorrow. I'm going to steal from Nighthawk until he comes back, baby. I will see you later.